Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Integrative Psychiatry and Wellness programs, Tai Chi and Yoga. You can stay for just the Tai Chi, which is the first half an hour, or for Tai Chi and Yoga, second half an hour, 12:30 to 1. Work in a way that feels comfortable and relaxing for you, where you can enjoy a little time away from other preoccupations of your mind and give the body a little bit of attention. So we'll start on the feet, with the feet shoulder width and the knees soft so that the tail hangs down like a kangaroo tail or the third leg of a stool. The spine upright in a royal or dignified posture, and the arms and upper body always very relaxed. We'll start with swinging arm. So simply step back onto one foot, keeping it shoulder width, and forward onto your front foot, letting the arms swing. Very relaxed by the sides. And just right now, in this very first Tai Chi practice, establishing this way of being that's not forceful, it's not trying hard, it's not trying to get anywhere or do it better or get it right. But there's this way of describing Tai Chi practice, which is playing Tai Chi. So, and the other thing is you're not trying to get a workout. So you're simply trying to connect to a relaxed way of being with yourself, physically and mentally and emotionally. For sure, as we go along, don't worry about getting it right. And as well, you don't have to go at my pace. And at some point, start to let this slow down, not making any abrupt transitions, and step forward with that back foot, back to your shoulder width stance. Stepping back with the other foot, and taking the second side of swinging arm. So, swinging arms. As you practice, don't worry about the breathing at all. Certainly you can be a witness to the breath, but don't try to manipulate it, don't try to change it. Let it be. You may notice that one side feels a little bit different from the other. Totally normal. And do be sure that the knees are not locked as you're stepping forward or back, that both knees are soft. And then at some point, let that start to slow down. And stepping forward with the back foot, back to your shoulder width stance. Now we'll take ringing the temple bell, so pushing the floor away, knees soften, and then pushing the floor away to turn the four corners of the hips and the shoulders. And as you do, you can let that back arm come up a little higher than it would without your making it, so that it hits out against your kidney. The front arm is covering the liver, the stomach, and the spleen, so you're getting a nice stimulation to some of the organs. A nice twist to the spine. So it's called ringing the temple bell, and the arms are like the clapper of a bell. You're not putting any effort into them. It's the movement of the torso, those four corners, that's propelling the arms from side to side. And again, the breath does what it will, and you can just watch that. And then letting that start to slow down. And now, starting to integrate into the space around you, let your fingertips and your arms, soft elbows, start to sense a bubble of chi, of energy. And take that bubble and let it float up and over to one side. Hands feeling it, arms feeling it, it starts to float up. So that it's an effortless experience. It's almost like you're just holding on to this bubble and it's carrying you up. The legs and the feet very grounded. The eyes follow the hands. So rather than leaning forward and bending your spine so much, the eyes are doing the work. And you're moving slower than the speed of habit. So it's possible to get more sensitive to how it feels. Let the softness of the arms keep the upper body relaxed when that heavenly circle floats up. Sensing into the roots of the pose, your legs, the feet. When that heavenly circle floats down. When you get to the top of your heavenly circle, turn and go the other way. I'm hearing some ambient noise. If there's others that are hearing that, Molly, just let me know if you're hearing it. I'll close some windows. The next time you're up at the top of your heavenly circle, turn the palms to face in, let the elbows be heavy. Sense the energy in the space between the palms and the face and down the length of the body as the fingertips turn down and drop down, the knees soften more. Pressing out and up, staying something short of a stretch, staying within your soft limit, and then the palms come in. The elbows stay heavy as you smooth the chi. Opening, slower than the speed of habit, feeling the foundation of those legs and feet, and then sensing the energy between the hands and the length of the body. Again, natural breathing. Making it yours and playing Tai Chi. Time as the arms come down, pause for a moment, feeling that upright spine, that dignified posture. Hands almost as though they feel almost as though how they feel if you were catching a basketball. And we'll take beginning Tai Chi. Let the arms float up as though rising on that bubble, coming out, coming over the top of that bubble, and then floating back down as the knees soften more. Feeling that rootedness, that groundedness, and then pressing off the legs and feet. Letting the bubble float the arms up. Sensing the roots as the palms float down. This time letting the palms come closer in towards the midline. Pressing out. Opening the circle of the heart. Look down. Once again, feeling your roots. Letting that bubble rise till the palms are in front of the heart. Feeling that expansion of the heart. Closing in. Sinking. Feeling the roots. Always staying within your soft limit. Something short of a stretch or anything that might distort. Right. Letting the palms come in and interlacing the fingers. Sensing that bubble within the arms. And turning the palms out and up. Pressing off the legs and feet. Pressing palms to the sky again, something short of a stretch. Letting the knees soften. The palms turning. Pressing palms to the sky. This time, as the palms come in front of the heart, unclasp the hands, and cross the wrists, pour the weight into one foot and step out, wider, and letting your knees be soft and pour from one foot to the other, keeping that royal and dignified posture so the spine stays upright. And now taking the outside hand, making a gentle fist and drawing back, fist towards the shoulder as you make a sight with your thumb and forefinger. The other hand, look out along the length of that arm between the thumb and forefinger, drawing the bow and moving across the waist, elbows relaxed, crossing at the wrists, and again, drawing the bow to the other side. In between the thumb and forefinger, moving across the waist. pouring from one root to the other. Again, slower than the speed of habit. Observing what you see. And now, finding that bubble. Take the inside hand down towards the earth and the outside hand turning the palm up, joining earth and sky, pressing off the legs, staying something short of a stretch that would distort the spine or distort the body, and letting that upper hand carve around the bubble, the edges of the bubble, letting the bottom hand find that bubble, and switching hands to join earth and sky. Slower than the speed of habit, staying within the soft limit, getting a real sense of the energy around you, integrating into that space, working with that space. You're a part of it, but there's nothing effortful on your part. Just exploring it. And starting to feel that effortlessness where life is guiding your pace, your approach, that internal compass, that intelligence. The movements are just a vehicle to explore being in that space and practicing that way of being. Now cross at the wrists again, moving across the waist, pouring the weight into one foot. So the other foot is empty, you can step it back. This is parting clouds to see the stars. So letting that bubble rise up, floating the arms up and out as the weight naturally pours onto that back leg, the knee softens, the arms open out. As the arms come down, the weight naturally pours into your front root, crossing at the wrists, not leaning too far forward, only opening back as much as feels comfortable, keeping the face relaxed, relaxing everything that can be relaxed. And again, letting life dictate that pace, but it is slower than the speed of habit. This time as the weight pours into the front foot, turn the palms over, pressing down and feeling your way down that structure into your roots. And stepping the back foot should be empty now. Step it forward to shoulder width. Again, feeling your roots as you sink down. And moving across the waist, pouring the weight onto your other foot, crossing at the wrists, and stepping that empty foot back, staying shoulder width. Another name for this is scooping the sea to gaze at the sky. You can imagine the splash of the waves drenching you as the weight pours onto that back foot and the arms open out. And again, as the weight pours into that back foot, the knee softens. That ease, that effortlessness remains. And again, it's something short of a stretch. Practicing not forcing, not straining, not trying hard. This time, as you pour the weight into that front foot, turn the palms over, pressing down through the structure of the body. Take that empty back foot, step it forward to shoulder width, and again, sinking into your roots. Now, turning the four corners of waist, of shoulders and hips, taking one hand and pushing forward. Take that other hand and withdraw the palm so that the four corners of shoulders and hips turn the other way, pressing the floor away. The eyes follow the back hand, and then that back hand pushes forward. The front hand withdraws, the palm draws back. Eyes follow the back hand. Front hand turns palm face up, and the back hand pushes forward. Repulsing the monkey. You're withdrawing the food as the hand draws back. The eyes follow that back hand. Front hand turns palm face, food withdraws from the monkey. The back hand pushes the monkey away. The eyes follow the food with that palm face up in the back. Then the palm presses forward, the back hand, the front hand turns palm up and draws back. Eyes follow the back hand. Front hand turns palm up, the back hand pushes through. Repulsing the monkey. Of course, the waist is turning side to side, but it's more about integrating into the space around you. You can imagine that monkey being teased, taunted, as you withdraw the food and push him away. And now once again, pouring the weight into one foot, find that bubble. And step out with the empty foot, taking the top hand across the eyes as the bottom hand pushes, waving clouds and hands. The bottom hand becomes the top hand. The clouds cover the face as the bottom hand pushes them to the side. And then the hands switch. The waist turns. Bottom hand becomes the top hand. Waving hands and clouds. You can play with this movement, make it bigger, more bold, more flowy. That sense that you're playing the Tai Chi. And then once again, finding the edges of that bubble, emptying one foot, pouring the weight into the other, and stepping back to shoulder width. Then scooping, sensing again that energy, that chi, and turning the palms down and feeling your way down into the roots, pressing down through the structure, pressing palms to calm the mind, feeling the chi in the hands, and within that space, wherein you're scooping and pressing. Now opening the circle for healing. Taking the arms out and up. Getting that opening, something short of a stretch, and then turning the palms to face down, letting the elbows be soft, be heavy. Letting all of that settle through the length of the body, all the way down the structure. Opening out. Turning the palms down. Sensing that settling. Now coming to sit for just a moment. If you don't have a chair, staying in this posture. But taking a moment now to let the energy settle. And to experience the after effect of the practice. Feet grounded, head upright. Letting the breath flow freely. Giving yourself just a moment to notice anything on the mind. The state of the energy of the body and the mind. Thanks for joining for Tai Chi. If you're staying for yoga, you can take off your shoes. You have shoes on. You can get a chair if you have a chair. And a yoga mat. All right, and we'll start in mountain pose with the feet hip width and the outer edges of the feet parallel. Spread the toes. And, you know, yoga is kind of like anti-gravity medicine, I always think of it as. So there's a drawing up from the very feet. It's even got a name in Sanskrit, but there's that drawing up energy like an octopus or a jellyfish. And there's a drawing up you can feel right through your belly that floats the chest and floats the head. Now take the arms out and up and use the arms to, as compared to Tai Chi, where it would say stretching is a distortion, go on and elongate the spine with the reach of the arm. Almost like you're taking a big baggy sweater and throwing it up there. Let your arms go wherever that means. Might be wide, might be close, to get that length. And now let's take the eyes up to brighten the posture, feeling the roots on the floor. As you lower the arms out and down, keep that upright spine. Interlace the hands behind the back and lift the clasped hands. I'll turn sideways here. Now you don't need to straighten your elbows here, but you're opening the shoulders back. If that's uncomfortable, hold the hips or thumbs up to open those shoulders. Spread the toes and breathe in. Lift from the back of the head, back of the heart, lift the heart, and breathe out. Bend the knees as much as you need to keep the upper spine long as you can. Letting the head fall forward, lifting the arms again. Let the head dangle like a clapper on a bell. Taking a few breaths here. And lowering the hands to the back and towards the floor. I have long arms, so I don't need, I can do this pretty easily, but we all have different length arms and legs. Letting the blood flow into the brain here. Now hold, let's bend the knees and take the hands above the knees. Pressing out into the legs, take the head and heart forward, breathe in, lengthen the spine. Breathe out, come all the way up. Maybe feeling a little more upright, we'll take lateral arc stretch. Breathing in, take the right arm out. Breathing out, bring the right arm up. Breathe in now, lift from those feet. Lift from your lower belly. Reach up for an apple on a tree. And breathe out over to the left. Extending down into the right leg and foot. And once you're in a good side stretch, press through the legs, lift the heart, and see if that elongates the spine in your side stretch. Letting the breath flow. As you breathe in, reach up for that something up there. And breathe out, lower the right arm. Take a moment, relaxing that elbow, relaxing the fingertips, and feeling the right side ribs versus the left. Spread the toes and breathe in, take the left arm out. Breathe out, bring the left arm up. Breathe in, root down. And again, lift up from your roots, lift up from the lower belly. Breathe out over to the right. Extending down into the left leg and foot. Again, brightening, lifting from the heart. Easy breathing, natural breathing. And breathe in, reaching up. Breathe out, lower the left arm. Interlace, we actually interlace the hands. So let's hold the hips once again, sides of the waist. Spread the toes and take one more forward fold, bending the legs, lengthening forward, sliding the hands down the legs, keeping them on the legs or on the floor, letting your head drop. If that's uncomfortable, place the hands above the knees and hang the head. But let a little blood flow down into the brain. And once again, hands above the knees. Press out through the legs and the feet. Lift the head and the heart. Breathe in, start to come up. Breathe out, sit down more. And now take that imaginary sweater and throw it up there. Throw up some confetti. Sitting down, leaning into the big toe sides of the feet and reaching up like you'd pull an imaginary blanket from your lower belly towards your chin. So you're sitting down and using the reach of the arms, wherever they are, to draw up that whole front side of your body, and you're sitting down and you're sitting back in chair pose. And breathe in, press through the legs, start to come up. Breathe out all the way up. And lower the arms, bringing the palms together with the thumbs by the heart. All right, now we'll take a chair and turn the chair back so it's facing you. Place the hands on the chair back, step back, and bend your knees, letting the ears draw in between the upper arms, and then pull the tip of the tail back by bending your legs as much as you need to, but feeling the big toe side of the foot down. Now, instead of sinking into your shoulders, push into your hands on the chair back and draw back, ears between the upper arms. Few breaths here. Some of you might straighten your legs. And then breathing in, start to come up, and breathing out, come all the way up. Walking forward, step one foot forward, step your other foot back at hip width. Bend the front knee, so the knee is over the heel, and push a little weight into the ball of your back foot. So the very root, the very top of your back leg rolls forward, and the underside of your front hip pulls back. So more belly goes in, over your front leg. The front knee is right over the heel. And now you take the arm, same arm as the leg that's back. Take that arm up and reach up, like you're reaching as high as you can to stretch through that hip flexor, even more than it's already stretching with that leg back behind you. Now those who'd like to can push weight into the back foot, taking both arms up. And then imagining you have a basket between your hands. Put that basket up on a shelf a little bit higher and use the push of that back foot to bring the back of the heart up, looking down towards your nose and breathing. Lowering the hands to the chair back, step back with your front foot and take that stretch through your sides as you bend the legs and pull back. So you're rolling out the very tip of the tail. And then step forward with your other foot. You can step both feet forward to make that easier, and then step the other foot forward, keeping your feet at that hip width position. Bend the front knee so the knee stops over the heel, and again, you're pulling the underside of the hip back so that more belly goes over that front knee. Now push down into your chair back, lift the heart so it bubbles up like a fountain. Extend through the back leg to get a little more stretch if you like, and then reach that arm up and give a high five. So very different from Tai Chi. In yoga, we recognize that the body starts to get stuck and then it gets patterned around its stuckness. So we're opening up the hip flexors, which tend to get contracted under stress, maybe bringing both arms up. Breathing, especially we sit all day. So if we're sitting, the hip flexors are contracted. Now we're stretching them, we're extending them as we reach the arms up and have that leg back behind us. Let's bring the hands forward, and we'll take another forward fold, either over the chair back, stacking the hands and letting the head drop, or moving away from the chair, and again, sliding the hands down the legs, letting the head drop. Inverting the blood flow. Inversions are a huge part of yoga. Increasing the circulation to the brain. And there are baroreceptors on either side of the throat that have flexible walls so that the walls open up to a wider channel when the head is up to get more blood flow to the brain. And then they constrict when the head is down, so it's not quite so much. And we want those walls to stay flexible to prevent things like strokes. Bring your hands above the knees, press against the legs, take the head and heart forward, breathe in, start to come up. Breathe out all the way up. Take a moment now to let the blood drain down from the head towards the heart. Now bring the hands to the lower back, elbows back. And we'll take a back bend, more stimulating to the nervous system. Forward folds more calming, back bends more stimulating. Elbows back, press off the legs, and see if you can lift from behind the heart, looking down towards the nose, and either drawing the chin forward to lift the chest, or letting the head hang off the heart in half wheel pose. Easy breathing. Open throat. Breathe in, lift from behind the heart. Breathing out, come all the way up. Now turning the chair forward. We'll take a side twist. So sitting with the heels directly under the knees at hip width, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the back, holding the chair back with the elbow down. Get that upright spine by pressing through your feet and bubbling that heart up. And then as you breathe out, push that front hand against the knee, walking the back hand back. It's uncomfortable to have your hand on the chair back, you put it on the chair seat. Whatever helps you turn. Arms are there to help you turn the spine, lengthen the spine. If you're on the floor, you can have your left leg bent, your right knee straight, and hug that knee with your front arm. Push the floor down with the back hand, and push the knee into the arm to turn. And you're breathing. And the nice thing about twists is that you're belly breathing, which means you're really getting the bang for the buck because most of the blood in the lungs is way down low. So this posture gives you the kind of breathing that is excellent for full functioning. And release. Let's switch legs. So either in the chair, having your other hand on the other knee, holding the chair back with the other hand, or hugging that front shin. The bent knee foot is hip width from the extended leg. Pull against that shin, lift the heart. Back hand is behind the hips, pushing the floor down, left arm up, get your length, breathe in, breathe out, hug the knee, or if the arm hooks over, you push the knee into the arm to ground that part of your seat, and then send that upward flowing energy up the length of your spine with the push of the back hand, the press of the front leg against the floor, the press of that back of that leg, and then letting your back left ribs come forward and your front right ribs come back. Natural breathing. And then releasing. Now we'll come back up, taking a few more standing poses. Take your legs apart. We'll take side angle pose. So turn it with your feet lined up, heels lined up, feet wide. Turn the right foot out, turn the left foot in. A lot of the poses with yoga are about freeing up the hips and hamstrings so that you can sit up comfortably. Ultimately, if you do yoga for a really long time, it sort of frees you up to be able to sit in a full cross-legged position. But for all of us, we can just get a little more freedom and movement, a little more comfort in the body. Press through the legs, reach with the arm, breathe in, breathe out, get as much length as you can get. When you've gotten your length, bring your hand down and push out against the leg, avoiding the knee. Get your length again. Using that back foot to steer your shoulders out over that right leg. Let your belly roll down. Pull the underside of that hip back, and then turn the ribs up, drawing up from your elbow, your left elbow. Now get light in that bottom hand. And see if you can use the press of that bottom hand to turn your ribs more towards that top hand. Breathing. Opening. Oh, I said a side angle pose, but we did triangle pose. Let's breathe in, start to come up. Breathe out all the way up. We're going to do both, but we did triangle pose first. Let's hold the sides and turn the feet. Heels lined up, belly rolling towards that left leg. Drawing energy up the legs, like think of straws and you're sucking water up straws, left arm up, getting that upward flowing energy. Breathe in, breathe out, hinge out. Get as much length as you can this way. When you've gotten your length, hand comes down, get length this way. Push out against the leg. Belly down, steering shoulders out over that leg, and then turning the ribs, opening out with that arm so you can feel the outstretched arms, just a vehicle to better turn the heart towards the ceiling. And then let go and just let the body be breathed. You're sort of letting the life energy flow in an opening stretch. Breathe in, lighten the bottom hands, start to come up. Breathe out all the way up. Holding onto the sides, turn the feet. Little wider stance, maybe. Roll the belly towards that leg and bend the knee. Make sure you can see your middle toe and that the knee stops right over the heel. Push a little weight into the back foot and reach up with the right arm from your lower belly. Breathe in, get long, get the length. Breathe out, hinge out. Now, if your feet are close and the hips are higher, you put your hand against your leg to brace yourself. So you've got one angle through the left side. If your feet are wider and your seat is lower, you drop down and come onto your elbow. Roll the belly down, turn the ribs up, take the back arm down, forward, stop at the side of the head, make a fist, and press back with the leg. Reach with the arm so you feel like a rocket ship taking off, extending through the fingertips, and using the press of that elbow or hand that's on your leg to turn the heart up towards the ceiling as you breathe and release. Now, keeping the legs in this shape, see if you can pinwheel back. And on an exhale, straighten the right leg, reaching up so your arms are like spark plugs of the heart. And then hold the sides of the waist and turn the feet to the other side. Heels lined up, spreading the toes, checking that the back foot's turned in 10 to 30 degrees. Roll the belly towards the front leg, left arm up. Breathe in, reach from your belly. Breathe out, bend the left leg, hinging out. Get the length with the reach of the arm, and then hand down or elbow down, belly down, underside, the hip pulls back so your belly gets more over that leg, and then the ribs turn, pressing through the elbow or the hand. Take the back arm down, forward, stop at the side of the head, press back and reach through. Breathing, lengthening, and finding the ease and stability in the pose. Breathing in, start to come up, legs stay in that place, breathing out all the way up. And on an exhale, straighten your left leg. Hold the sides of the waist, turn the feet forward, lining up the heels, lining up the outer edges of the feet so they're parallel. Then take the thumbs to those flat bones on your lower back. Draw the elbows back. Breathe in, press through the legs, lift from your lower belly. Breathe out, hinge out, lengthening the spine, bending the legs as soon as you feel the length being compromised with your spine. Place the hands down and use the press of the hands to descend the chest towards the tops of the legs, letting the head drop down. And again, letting the breathing flow freely. Now lighten the heels and hold the sides of the waist again. Take the head and heart forward, breathe in, start to come up. Breathe out all the way up. That was spread feet pose. Walk the feet in. And we'll take eagle pose. So bringing the inner edges of your feet to touch. This is a pose you can do with your lower back against a wall. So your heels will be about 2 inches from the wall, 2 or 3, but your lower back will touch the wall only because it's a bent knee, standing balance. So sit down, but not sitting forward, sitting back like you would if you were sitting into a chair or skiing. Take the right arm over the left arm higher than your elbow and either reach around, give yourself a hug, or pick up the forearms if you've crossed above your elbows. You're stretching between your shoulder blades. Some of you can join your palms. And then you'll take the elbows forward, you'll take the inner wrists forward, sitting back and down. Spread the toes of your right foot and take the left leg over the right, sitting down and maybe touching your toes to or towards the floor, maybe slipping your foot behind the lower leg of the standing foot, and taking a few breaths here in eagle pose. As you breathe in, bring the left foot to meet the right, sweep the arms out and up, elongating the spine again with the reach of the arm. And breathe out, this time take the right arm under the left, crossing above the elbows if you can, passing the forearms. If that doesn't work, give yourself a hug and walk your fingertips towards one another. Take the elbows and wrists forward, sit down and back like you'd ski. Spread the left toes and take the right leg over the left, touching the toes down towards the floor. So your outer shins touch, or outer calves, and maybe slipping the foot behind the lower leg of your standing foot. Taking a few breaths here. And bringing the raised foot to meet the standing foot, sweep the arms out and up. Breathe out, feet hip width, folding forward. Last forward fold. Letting the head drop, letting the knees bend so that it feels comfortable and relaxed. And as you breathe in, lighten the heels, sweep the arms out and up. Breathe out, bring the palms together, thumbs by the heart. And relax the arms. Take your chair and put it at the foot end of the mat. Sit sideways to the chair with your hips close to the front legs of the chair. And then swing your legs up, turning 90 degrees so that your head comes towards the short end of the mat. And you can relax here, or you can float the legs up, keeping your thighs vertical, knees soft. You can take your hands, palms face down, underneath the tip of the tail to let the fluids drain down from the feet and the lower extremities. Maybe letting the eyes close. Letting the breath flow naturally. And bringing the knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze. You might have to push back away from the chair a little bit. Now take the arms out in a T shape and lower the knees to one side. Now, whichever way you lowered your knees, you might scoot your hips away from the knees, pull back. So the lower part of your spine, the tip of the tail, draws back. And then you have to do a little more to roll that top hip over the bottom hip. Then the elbow that your chest is facing, you just press down into that elbow and bring a little bit more of that side of your upper back closer to that elbow. And then turn the ribs away from your knees. Turn the head away from the knees, the eyes away from the knees. Now, if that's too much twist, you keep your feet together and pick up the top knee a little bit to let that top hip roll back a little. So you're just playing with letting the knees and the legs shape, turn your lower spine in one direction, and letting those outstretched arms turn your ribs the other way. And again, you've got that belly breathing. And breathe in and bring the knees up. Breathe out all the way up. Realign the hips and the head. And lower the knees the other way. You can play with how close the knees are to the elbows, maybe bringing them way up. And again, scooching your hips back away from the knees a little bit the other way. Press into the elbow that the knees are facing and just pull out that side of the upper back a little bit more. So more of it's on the floor. And then roll the ribs the other way, away from the knees. Outstretch the other arm, looking out over the outstretched arm, away from the knees. And again, tuning into the breathing. You feel the depth of the breath and the emphasis on the exhales. Which is an excellent practice for asthmatics and anyone who tends to overbreathe. Releasing, breathe in, take the knees up. Breathe out all the way up, realigning the spine. And either letting legs rest on the chair seat, or moving the chair to the side and letting the legs extend forward on your mat. You choose. Your legs are extended forward on the mat. Let the legs roll out. Let the arms roll out. Maybe let the eyes close, otherwise simply steady gaze, soften the gaze. And see if with your awareness you can draw back behind the face, the back of the brain, looking out and relaxing all the muscles of the face. Relaxing the fingertips. Relaxing the belly. Let the breath flow freely. And experience that effortless way of participating. Nothing to do but follow life's guidance as the breath flows in and out. Not trying to change it, force it, make it better, make it deeper, hurry it up. Just letting it be. Letting it quietly animate the body. And settle the mind. Okay, see if you can notice which side of your nose you're breathing through more than the other. Roll over onto that side. And as you're ready, slowly make the way back up to sit. Thanks so much for participating today. So nice to have you here. Hope to see you again next week.